New exhibits based around items brought in from the Donbas conflict zone have arrived at Ukraine's ATO, or Anti-Terrorist Operation Museum. These newest additions are armored personnel carriers of the Russian army, which were taken in 2014 by Ukrainian volunteer soldiers. Lyudmila Kalinina is a former servicewoman of the Donbas battalion, with which she worked as a nurse. She spent 2 weeks in the combat zone and became a witness of tragic events. We left for Korlivka. In the evening, a car carrying 200 soldiers also arrived there. It was a moment when you still feel that you are a civilian and you don't understand that this is a war. This is not just an anti-terrorist operation. There, people are really being killed. There's really military action from the enemy side. After that experience, Kalinina chose to stay in Donbas, where she successfully mastered her work in military operations. Later, she saw action as part of the volunteer battalion in the Battle of Ilyevsk, which was instigated by the Russian military. The battle left her seriously wounded, and although Kalinina believes that a miracle helped her stay alive, thinking about the experience still brings up painful memories. Breaking out of the encirclement, the truce has been reconcluded. The enemy promised a truce. Instead, there was a tank shelling. As a result, I received a shrapnel wound. My health condition sharply deteriorated because of the wound, and I was sent to the military hospital. In 2014, helicopters rescued wounded defenders of Ukraine from the conflict zone and took them to city hospitals. At that time, volunteers, activists, doctors, and military men worked together for a common cause. At the museum's multimedia hall, movie clips are shown to help visitors connect with the daily reality of the war. We did not know how to make a person feel the emotions and experience of being in Donbas. In the 21st century, the cinema shows the dynamics of these events as no other medium can. This is about thousands of children who have been there and millions of people who fight there. An outdoor exposition is at the center of the museum. Here, one can see the terrible face of the war. The exposition features the physical evidence of enemy attacks, among them an armored car from the war zone, riddled with the bullets of Russian-backed militants, sections of a tank, a road sign for Donetsk, and a destroyed bus shelter from Pisky, a village near the Donetsk airport. The installation behind my back is called On the Way to Donbas and symbolizes the heroism of Ukrainian soldiers defending the Donetsk airport. And the line of road signs is kind of an open ATO map, which was developed by Kyiv artist Viktor Hukhailo. It helps us to constantly develop our exposition. 12-year-olds Zhenya and Maxim heard about the events in Donbas from the father of a common friend who took up arms to defend Ukraine. They say that the most interesting thing in the museum is the military equipment and weapons. It was literally a few years ago. Today, all this equipment has already been brought to the museum. We got into the tank and smelled such a strong scent of diesel, and it felt like there had been people in it until recently. The museum's indoor exposition is located on the premises of the Yavernitsky Historical Museum. Visitors to the museum can read the life stories of volunteers, soldiers, doctors, and ordinary Dnipro residents at the exhibition stands. There is also a memorial hall displaying the portraits of local residents who sacrificed their lives defending their native land. In Pridniprovia, the breath of the war is very distinct. The museum curator says, therefore, Dnipro City was destined to become an outpost of Ukrainian statehood. We remember the separatist meetings in Dnipro City in March 2014, which are surpassed by the local community. After that, Dnipro citizens united. Everyone understood that their city could become the next one to be occupied by militants. If that happened, the country would have been partitioned. We constantly heard the sounds of low-flying helicopters over the city. Everyone felt that these terrible events happened close to the city.